Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Hello, good Sunday evening, folks. Thank you for tuning into the Q2 Weekend News. I'm Dustin Klemann. Former Vice President Joe Biden was in Montana this weekend as the keynote speaker at the Montana Democrats' big annual fundraiser. At the Mansfield Metcalf dinner, Biden highlighted a lengthy talk on how Democrats can repair the political fabric of America. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports, he wasn't the only speaker who brought the partisan crowd to its feet Saturday night.
Biden wasted no time Saturday night giving his take on what's gone wrong with politics in the age of Trump.
Today our politics is broken. It's become so mean-spirited. It's become crass. It's become demeaning. And quite frankly, it's beneath the dignity of the American people. And this is not just a speech. I mean this. It's beneath the dignity of a great people.
But he also returned many times to a theme that President Trump has emphasized himself, that the middle class of America is getting left behind.
You know, there used to be a basic bargain in America, shared by Democrats and Republicans, that if you contributed to the success of an enterprise you worked with, you got to share in the benefits. That's broken, man.
Biden said Republicans are undoing that promise by passing their huge tax cut for the wealthy, creating deficits that can be cured only by slashing programs that maintain the middle class, such as Social Security and Medicare. Biden is seen as a possible challenger to Trump in 2020. But he mentioned Trump by name only once in his 55-minute speech. That wasn't the case, however, with Montana Governor Steve Bullock, also mentioned as a possible presidential candidate in 2020. Bullock took dead aim at the president Saturday, listing off what he called an almost daily helping of scandals and embarrassments engulfing the president.
And mocks his own attorney general for doing his job, calling him Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo? Come on! We try to teach our kids to be honest and respectful of others. Yet we're becoming so desensitized that we expect less of our president than we do of our preschoolers.
Bullock won re-election in 2016, but his victory has been a lonely outpost of electoral success for Montana Democrats in the past few years. Biden gave Montana Democrats their message loud and clear. Stand up for the middle class and human dignity and carry that to victory in 2018. Now, in the coming months, they'll see if that strategy is the one that works. Mike Dennison, MTN News, Helena.
Thanks, Mike. A sold-out crowd of 1,300 people attended the event at the county fairgrounds in Helena. Meanwhile, on the other side of the aisle, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark spoke in Billings on Friday night. Clark supports several issues of the Trump administration, including the views of illegal immigration. He's been critical of Black Lives Matter and also backing of the Second Amendment. Q2's David J. reports on Clark's speech to the Yellowstone County Republicans.
David Clark meets supporters before the Lincoln-Reagan Day dinner, and during his speech he praised those running for public office.
Somebody's got to step up to serve, and that's what it is. It's service. Oftentimes, too many people see it as more than service. They overstay their welcome.
He says he plays smash-mouth politics when he is criticized unfairly for his view on some of the issues.
When I hear some of the slanderous names, the mischaracterization of you folks, conservatives, Republicans, as racist, misogynist, homophobes, you know as well as I do that it's all BS.
And Clark recognized veterans and law enforcement. He started his career with the Milwaukee Police Department in 1978 and was elected Milwaukee County Sheriff in 2002, serving in law enforcement for almost 40 years.
There's no higher honor than to wear the uniform of your nation in the military or to wear the uniform of your community in law enforcement to go out and protect and serve.
He says the swamp, the deep state, and career bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. are thwarting President Trump's vision.
We go to Congress, we go to the state legislators, and we try to win an argument and convince enough people that these are the policies that this country should be moving toward. That's dissent, that's healthy, and it keeps people honest. There's a difference between that and resistance, outright defiance of the rule of law and of the people that you and I elected, especially in the White House.
Clark talked about the Trump administration with regard to the economy, tax cuts, deregulation, job growth, immigration, and infrastructure.
Donald Trump is a president who cares about every single American. He said in his inaugural address speech that he would always have our back and do what's best for the American people. He will put America first.
David J., MTN News, Billings.
And David Clark retired as sheriff in August of last year. In September, he became a senior advisor and spokesman for the American First Action. It's a super PAC supporting the Trump administration. Speaking of which, the White House officials are clarifying President Trump's position on North Korea after the surprise announcement he has agreed to meet with leader Kim Jong-un. The president is also rallying behind Republican Rick Saccone just before a House election in Pennsylvania this Tuesday. CBS News' Wendy Gillette reports from New York on the latest developments.
White House officials say North Korea won't have to meet any further conditions for a meeting between leader Kim Jong-un and President Trump to go forward.
This potential meeting has been agreed to. There are no additional conditions being stipulated. But again, they cannot engage in missile testing, they cannot engage in nuclear testing, and they can't publicly object to the U.S.-South Korea planned military exercises.
Critics of the president's decision to meet Kim Jong-un say it's too rash and will only help to legitimize the North Korean dictator.
What I want to see, I think what all of us want to see, is the prep work done for this kind of meeting.
President Trump says he's willing to extend trust to North Korea's leader.
They're not sending missiles up. And I believe that. I believe that. I really do. I think they want to do something. I think they want to make peace. I think it's time. And I think we've shown great strength.
The president addressed North Korea at a rally to boost Republican Rick Saccone, who's in a tight race in Tuesday's special congressional election in western Pennsylvania.
Let's send someone from the heart of coal country that shares your family's values and concerns. I'm battle-tested and ready to serve.
Saccone is battling political newcomer Democrat Connor Lamb, who held a rally with mine workers Sunday.
Our friends on the Republican side of the aisle seem today more than ever to forget what it means to honor a promise.
The results of Tuesday's vote could be a sign of what's to come in November. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Military exercises held by South Korea and the U.S. are scheduled for April, always a point of great contention for North Korea. Come back here to Montana now. 2 people are behind bars following a Saturday afternoon drug bust in Polson. Authorities issued a search warrant on a home and police seized multiple items such as a baggie of methamphetamine, marijuana, various items of drug paraphernalia. Robin Hundal and Sarah Perazzo have both been charged with criminal possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. This incident is just one of many recent drug raids throughout the town of Polson. All the practice and training was put to the test today in the Seattle for the Scott firefighting stair climb. It's the 27th year for the stair climb, which raises money for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. This year, more than 2,100 firefighters, including 200 women from 27 states and several countries, took part. 4 Billings firefighters climbed 69 flights and 1,300 steps in 50 pounds of gear. Missoula firefighter Andy Drobeck, who has dominated this event for years, continued his quest today for an 8th year in a row. We'll have the results tonight at 10. Last year, more than $2.4 million was raised to help with research and patient services. Every 3 minutes, someone in the U.S. is diagnosed with a blood cancer. It is the 3rd leading cancer killer in America. Back to our region, a blown tire may have caused a vehicle to go underneath a semi-truck along Interstate 90 near Billings yesterday. PT Cruiser became caught underneath the semi between Laurel and Billings yesterday morning. Montana Highway Patrol said the passenger was treated at the hospital for minor injuries and released. The driver, who was not identified, the PT Cruiser, is still in the hospital with severe injuries. The driver of the semi was unharmed. Still ahead on the Q2 530 News, the opioid crisis is worsening with a 30% jump in just over a year. Well, the latest in medical news this week next. And later in sports, the Grizz find their dancing partner. We'll tell you who and where Montana plays coming up. And in the Weather Center, Brett McCrummon joins us now with a very beautiful day in our region. Nice break from the winter that we've had.
That's right. It was a beautiful day. Let's go ahead and take a look outside with our First Interstate iCam right now and show you we have a partly cloudy sky, 36 degrees right now. Northeast winds at 8 miles an hour. Our barometric pressure is falling and our humidity currently at 62%. Warmer temperatures, yep, they're on the way as we look towards midweek. We'll have your complete forecast coming up in just a few minutes.